Breakdown Championship Wrestling Breakdown. SCW announcer Jam.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everything in between, my name is Jam, and this is SCW Breakdown, the official podcast of Superior Championship Wrestling. And right now, I'm here with the Kung Fu Killer Wolf, one of the staples of the SCW roster, and someone who, personally, I think, we'll get to it a little bit later, should be, at the very least, the internet champion by now. I'm talking to Daniel Wolf. How you doing today, Daniel?
I'm doing great, dear Jam. Thank you.
I'm glad to hear that. Now, one thing I like to ask all my guests when they come on here, just a very simple question, but a question that can take us to many places. Who is Daniel Wolf?
Well, Daniel Wolf is, I guess Daniel Wolf is your normal guy that's a martial artist, loves martial arts, loves wrestling, loves to be part of it, and a gamer too. I love video games, by the way. Yeah, so, but a competitor. Like I was a competitor back in when I was a teenager, doing karate, doing competitions. Love to compete basically. But basically just your normal stand up, friendly neighborhood werewolf. I like to call myself.
Okay, now that's something I kind of want to dig into a little deeper. What started that fascination with Kung Fu, karate, the martial arts for you?
um, it started out when I was like about 4 years old. Because back then, when I was a little kid, it was mostly me and my mom, and stuff like that. My dad was always there, just he was never always living with us at the same time and stuff like that. My parents never married, so my mom would have me like on the weekdays and stuff like that, and I'll go see my dad on the weekends. I think it's been like that for as long as I can remember. And then I favor my dad. I do love my dad. I favor my dad a bit more as a child because hardly ever see him. So whenever he goes to work, and he used to work at Ford Motor Company, and I'll wait late nights for him to come home. Because he used to work the evening shifts. So me waiting for my dad to get home on those weekends, that's how I grew my love for late night television. So I've been staying up watching Three Stooges and Laura Hardy and stuff like that. And then one weekend, you get martial art theater come in with that Charlie Tam character, always wearing the karate gi and doing these hosting these shows. And that was my glimpse at martial arts right there with kung fu films. And ever since a 4 year old kid, I knew that I want to do that in my life. I want that to be in my life, martial arts and stuff. So at one point, about decades later, I at middle school graduation, I got into a karate dojo because the instructor gave me an offer I couldn't refuse. Gave me like a 1 week free tryout because he knew I didn't have any money. I'm a poor kid or some shit. And I took it, and even though I had trained for a week, and it was a 2 hour training too. When the week was over, something told me to go back. So I did. I went back, trained again. He didn't say anything. Following week, went back, trained, and I've been training. Basically, he was training me for free. I did do some cleanup instead of pay my dues, but yeah, I was training for free and stuff like that, and I've been in the karate ever since then, and love karate very much. Love everything martial arts too. Not just karate. 'Cause my background is mostly karate, but I love all types of martial arts and stuff like that. So that's how it started. And yes, I am a legitimate black belt too.
Okay, nice. Now, how did that love for martial arts go into a love for wrestling, or I guess the desire to become a wrestler?
Okay, well, I was a fan of wrestling when I was a kid. Yeah, as much as everybody else. As far as how it start, I I guess it starts since I can remember because I do remember times my cousin, um, one of my cousins on my dad's side, he would always watch wrestling, these wrestling tapes and stuff like that, and I was watching with him. So I guess that's how I guess I can remember that's how it roughly started. But I knew as a teenage kid, I was continue watching wrestling even in the Attitude Era, and I said to myself, one of these things is going to hit me first because I was growing to try to want to do full contact karate, and I also like the wrestling that I feel like at some point I feel like that's something I'm going to be doing. I may be doing or have an interest in. So I figured one of these is going to hit first. Is it full contact karate, or was it going to be pro wrestling? Here I am a wrestler. So, so I did not get a chance to participate in the full contact karate. I think at one point I was taking some training for it, but unfortunately I never did compete it. I always wanted to, and I think because of my age now, it's probably too late for that. But for wrestling, obviously I'm still here and stuff like that. And as far as like bringing martial arts and wrestling together, well, I got to see the Japanese wrestling, '90s
Mm-hmm.
Japanese wrestling, and I love the stuff what they do, where their strong style that they do, and it looked like yeah, that's like pro wrestling and martial arts put together, and I was like, shit, like yeah, you can if you can make a pro wrestling into a martial art or make it look like one, and why not do it? And incidentally, bam, here I am doing just that. Putting my martial arts with my professional wrestling.
Nice. And you mentioned that you're still here in wrestling. How long have you been in wrestling?
Well, truthfully, I did get involved with it, say 2010 ish. Um, I don't speak of that time because you know how young individuals they always want to be wrestlers, and what they wind up doing the backyard thing and stuff. But yeah, I never counted until I actually had like a full fledged training. So at one point and during that time, that's where I got to meet Brian Wellington for the first time.
If we
So
could pause for a second,
okay.
because that's actually something that's come up a lot of times on the show. A lot of people don't really count their backyard wrestling days. From your perspective, like why wouldn't that count?
Because it's basically a group of young individuals trying to be wrestlers and they're not trained.
Mm.
But pretty much that. We did. I mean, don't get me wrong. We did have a guy that did try to train us at one point. At some point, that's involved with us, and safe to say, we did better than a normal individual trying to be a wrestler. But we knew it's not enough. It's not enough. We had to get real pro wrestling training. So like I said, one part, this promoter of this little fab we was doing, he pulled in a guy to get us pro trained so we can go ahead and do this. And the guy in question was my first trainer, Brian Wellington, and he came in and had set up rings, stuff like that, place to do this, and he literally trained us, and we paid him a little money, a little money for it, once a week, shit like that, and just train and stuff like that. At the time, at that time, my training session with him was only for 4 days, only because didn't have the money for it. I was working at a job that didn't really have me working a lot of hours and stuff, and plus, his lady at that time was giving him a lot of shit, very very lot of shit. I don't want to get into that. And basically I'm glad that he broke up with that woman. To be honest, and so at one point I decided like try to take a hiatus from doing wrestling. I tried to get involved. I tried to see what I could do, get some connections. I wind up going to a wrestling show in Detroit at a place called Old Miami back in 2012. And when I got there, that's where I reunited with Brian right there. So he pulls me in the back, stuff like that. See about getting me to do a match or do something, with the back. So I got to meet. So this is like a literally legitimate independent pro wrestling company, and yeah, and pro wrestling company. Sorry, tongue tied. So the promotion in question, it was a Pro Wrestling All Star. So it was kind of like me being Pro Wrestling All Stars for the first time and stuff. And that's why I got to meet Steven Rivera, the promoter. Got to meet a lot of guys there at Saitar, Drake Kuma, Roger Street, before he was Officer Roger Street, stuff like that, and Chuck Stein and all of those guys. So one point, I borrowed a wrestler's single ed, stuff like that, yada yada yada, and started going in there as the Daniel Wolf and stuff. But at that time, I was good at just bumping around. So I was just jobbing. I was losing because my wrestling training is not par. So basically, I just had to make the wrestlers look good and stuff. But then I had to take another hiatus from it because the Truth Martini got to see me, how I work on the basics, and he was asking me like, what was your training session with Brian at that time, and I told him 4. So he was like, well, not bad for 4 days, but and he asked me this question, and I agreed on this question. If he took a martial arts for 4 days, would I consider him a martial artist? I immediately said no. So that kind of opened my eyes. Like, yeah, I need more for the training. So I decided to take a hiatus from it because the last time I was being with the company was Cinco de Mayo 2013, and I only did a battle royal, stuff like that. And then after that, I didn't bother trying to come back to Pro Wrestling All Stars until I was trying to get trained. Even going to just to watch the shows, I followed them on Facebook, but I did not, any show they did, I did not go. And then 2014, late 2014, that's where I got word from Breyer, Rivera, and not met this person at that time that I know her now, Rachel Green, which is she's the promoter of Horseland. So I hear that Rivera had a school, the Pro Wrestling All Stars Wrestling Workshop, and it was opening real soon for 2015. And I saw the flyer, saw the trainers, which one of them was Breyer. So I was like, I'm thinking like, oh, cool. I can go to this training school, get trained up, reunite with Breyer, and get trained up again and stuff like that. But this time, start from scratch. And I had no problem starting from scratch. I had no problem in that. So when I get down there and stuff like that, yeah, Rivera recognized me. Obviously, Breyer recognized me. Hightower did too, and stuff like that. And seeing some newer faces up there and everything. And so I start training. Did it training for about over a year, stuff like that, over there. And my official match, I like to say, because one of the trainers was Roger Street, and he told Rivera he wanted to do something with me in a show, and it was an upcoming show. So, and he said this in December of 2015. So my official match, my official debuting with the promotion was in January 2016, which is 8 years ago. So I always say my official debuting or official timing of me being a wrestler was 8 years because of that.
Okay, that's almost like a decade in the business. Like, what's something that you feel like you've learned in these 8 years, be it in the ring or out the ring, about being a wrestler?
Um, what I've learned, and I got a lot of vets that a lot of these guys that have been 20-year plus and stuff that I go to and talk to. Breyer being one, and also Nate Masson. Nate Masson is my other trainer too. I always talk about wrestling with Nate all the time, and the business is not easy. One, and it's a business that is about respect and paying respect, especially some of these new people that are coming out of the gate, coming out to schools. You know, there's a reason why they say you pay your dues, and you do pay your dues, but also patience. Always have patience, and don't get a big head of yourself and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, you're wrestling, you're training, you're now in the ring, you're wrestling, but you still have a long way to go. You still have a long way to go, and so it's like I'm I'm not sure if I got a lot of fans and stuff like that, but I do have them out there, and I'm not worried about payments and stuff like that. I don't know why I mentioned it out now, but I don't really get greedy. I just go what's off the top of my head. But if I know I'm bringing in more people and stuff because of my talent, and that's another thing people need to learn. Are you bringing butts in the seats for you to make arrangement about paying something? And I'm talking about on a local level. I'm talking about a local level. You know, but if you're not there yet, then why anybody complaining? Because I hear a lot of complaints about that, and this is from some younger folks, you know. And I'm like, come on, guys, like it's not that it's. Once you come that good, okay, you're okay. If you get that good enough to where you bring these people, I don't even know if I bring seats to the crowd, but I surely do. I still try to push myself and market myself and try to promote myself and stuff. I still do it. The best, the major place that I do it is basically here in SCW. Because the company here gives me the opportunity to do that, and that's one of the things I like I said, all the stuff I learned like from other guys is like be patient, always be respectful, be patient. Don't take criticism very personal and stuff like that, because that happens a lot and stuff. But there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things in this business. You have to try to soak up. But as long as you got the patience and just listen and do your best, and try really just try to market yourself to put seats in. And because once people really come out to see you, and it happens more and more and more, and then you can talk about how far you want to do as far as like your pay rate or how far you want to go with this and stuff like that. Because you have to start somewhere. You're not going to be in the WWE just about a few months like that bullcrap tough enough stuff. Because I've seen it many times over, and every time somebody wins, they don't when they win the contract, they don't stay in the company too long. The longest one I've seen so far is season one winner Maven and stuff like that. But everybody else and that's probably the reason why. Sure, you win the competition, but you probably didn't have the patience and stuff like that to learn and stuff and everything. So they boot you out. And the ones that were in that competition were the runner ups and stuff like that. That incidentally now they being in the show. I mean, for example, the Daniel Puder, the Ultimate Fighter dude, he won a competition, and he did only maybe got a battle royal and maybe a couple matches, and then they booted him out. But the Miz was a runner up, and now look at the Miz.
WrestleMania main eventer.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So yeah, take time, listen, be respectful, be patient, and you'll be all right.
There's a lot that you said that I can attest to. I know there was a point there that you said that you weren't sure if you put butts in seats, so to say. You've definitely grown a devoted following, from what I could tell, at the shows, like continually, consistently. You kind of get the loudest reactions there, and I think that speaks to the kind of connection you get to the crowd. I can't confirm if you brought them in there, but you definitely made an impression to make them want to come back to the next one. It's like, oh, who's that Daniel Wolf guy? Can I get a picture with him? There are a lot of people who wanted their picture with you our last show, the Detroit show, 313. So I guess that's kind of my next question. How do you create that sort of connection with the fans?
Mm. Uh, I, you know, that's a question I would like to ask. Because yeah, because like I said before, because I don't even know if I have that many fans. I don't even know that. I just sometimes I try to project myself to them, and this is something I learned from my trainers and vets. They tell you, project to the crowd. Speak. Interact with them and stuff like that. Let them know you are. Because trust me, when I first started officially, I was silent. I was quiet. I was just, in there to compete, to throw down, and stuff like that. But now I'm like really getting into like trying to interact with the crowd and stuff, and bring towards me and stuff. Sometimes it's just my moves by itself. I mean, you get a karate guy in there doing wrestling moves and so, but he's also throwing in the kicks and stuff like that, and you know it'll register to a couple kids and stuff. They think that's cool. They probably look at you like a Power Ranger or a Ninja Turtle, which I think at one point I did was recalled it. I was called a Ninja Turtle at one point. I know one kid didn't know my name. And he called yeah, she called me the Japanese guy, and I'm black. I've never been to Japan. Yeah. I believe crap you not. There was a little girl. She didn't know my name, even though she saw my match, and the ring announcer did say my name loud. But she said hey, it's that Japanese guy. Because my gear was my karate gi and stuff like that. But yeah, I was called a Japanese guy from some kid, and I'm not Japanese at all. Yeah.
Well, at least you left an impression.
Yeah, I did.
Well, you also talked about SCW and how SCW has given you an opportunity to not only wrestle, but just kind of be yourself a little bit. So I kind of want to ask, like, what brought you to SCW?
Be funny. The promoters. Pounder Patterson. Quarter Pounder Patterson, yes. I always joke about that. Him and Glenn the Deluxe Burger. Yeah, both of them. you laughing right now. Every time I talk about their names, I feel like I want to get hungry. But anyway, but yeah, they pulled me in because Mo, what's his name? Pounder. He knew me from from a couple years, so he saw my talent and wanted to pull me in, and then Glenn saw it, and he pulled me, and he thought the same thing. So that's basically how I get it. And at the time, is we were still part of me and I'm going to mention his name, Mr. Black Platinum, Marcus Porter. Me and him were still part of Cobra Kai, and so when we came to the company, we came to the company together alongside L.J. Lawrence, who was the sensei of Cobra Kai at the time.
Now, before you go further, because Cobra Kai has come up on this show a couple times. For listeners who don't know what Cobra Kai is, can you talk about, I guess, your time in Cobra Kai before you became who you are today?
Yeah, because this is going way back early days too. Because LJ, he was the Cobra Kai, but this before the stable and stuff, and I was still doing shows basically with Pro Wrestling All Stars, and he brought him along, and then promoters brought him along, and we did like 2 matches against each other, and stuff like that, and he saw the talent, and he saw what I got, and he wanted to mentor me. So at one point, he did start up the Cobra Kai stable. I didn't join just yet. He just recently started out when 2 of the House of Truth guys was still in training and got cleared. One of them being Maximilian, and then I came aboard and stuff like that. And I found out he I'm not sure I was supposed to tell it. I'm not sure if he cares now, but when he started Cobra Kai, it was because of me. He and stuff like that. He wanted to develop me more in the business and stuff like that. And we both karate guys, both martial art guys, black belts and stuff like that. So and that's the special bond we got and stuff, everything. And he's been like not just mentoring me as far as the wrestling business, but a friend, a brother, and stuff like that. And we've been tight ever since. Even when he's not with the company and stuff, but yeah, we still talk, we still chat, we still do our things and stuff like that, and everything. So it was very cool that he did that for me. And I'm always appreciated about it for he doing that. As far as Cobra Kai goes, we were like a very influential stable in the Metro Detroit area. We were the Detroit chapter of Cobra Kai and stuff, and we took it on the road a bit around certain spots in Michigan and stuff. And unfortunately, it disbanded because everybody already probably seen it. how it disbanded. If you didn't go online, go on YouTube. I think it's still up there and stuff. How it started, but um, when when it was just down to just me and Lawrence, and we were at a Metro Pro show at the first ever. It was the first wrestling show at Kudos Tavern Room, and we were going up against Savage Tribe. Now Lawrence was has mindset for taking on other people in this company. I think his name D Ray 3000, and I think one of them was Chuck. Oh, I'm not sure, but it was definitely D Ray 3000, and he was very hard on mindset. Had to get his mindset straight. So after our victory against the Savage Tribe, that's when he disbanded me. Disbanded me. Not really kicked me out. Not kicked me out, but let me go on an honorable discharge, basically, because I've been loyal to him most, unlike the other two. And he gave me the moniker, the Lone Wolf, Daniel Wolf, because he was still calling me Roadhouse for whatever reason. But yeah, I wasn't. I like that Pastor City movie, but I'm not that guy. So maybe because I actually work as a security or bouncing at a bar at bars, and he wants to call me Roadhouse. But anyway, yeah, he gave me the moniker, the Lone Wolf, and that's the one I've been carrying for a long time too. And the rest is history to that.
Okay. And all of that time with the Detroit chapter of Cobra Kai that led you to SCW.
What was that?
Being with Cobra Kai led you to SCW.
Pretty much, yes.
Okay. And as far as like breaking away from Cobra Kai and kind of coming into your own, if you could like reflect on that a little bit, like how have you enjoyed kind of running solo compared to starting off with that group?
Well, you gotta understand, I was solo before the group, so it's not a big deal as far as that goes. At some point, it was not gonna last, and the thing, I'm feeling okay with this stuff. I'm making friends along the way. People I can like trust with, like Johnny Go, the greaser. Because he's one and stuff like that. So if I ever need someone to have my back, and there they are. But being the lone wolf, no other member of a team or something like that. It has, what can I say? It gives you more room to explore. Yeah, that'd be it. It gives you more room to explore because you get to like try to open get try to figure out who you are in life and stuff like that. It's just like a lone biker, just right. A biker is known for the motorcycles and riding a bike, but they're about riding, being on that open road, being on that free road, venture out, see the world. So being a lone wolf is kind of like the same thing because the wolf is just out there to find his own home place, and make his own pack, you know. So that's probably how it feels like being back to being alone again. So
Okay. I do like that analogy. I really like that, finding your own pack. And it seems like you found your own pack with Johnny Go, like you mentioned. How did that kind of that bond come together?
well, me and Johnny. One thing, I always did like I always did like Asian people anyway. Yeah, I mean, I like all types of people. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, as a teenage kid, I was always digging Asian people a little bit. Because I made even in high school, I made most of all the Asian people in high school I made friends with, and my high school was but a majority of pretty much dominant black and stuff like that. But I've been friends with them. So like with me and Johnny, we was gonna. I knew we was gonna click on that part. Plus, finding out that he's a martial artist too, that was a plus. That was a very plus and stuff like that. And I remember Johnny before the greaser lifestyle, and I'm saying lifestyle. This is not a gimmick, because he is everyday slick back hair, jeans, stuff like that. Switchblade, comb, not a knife. That's me there, and and I understand that lifestyle, that genre, because I did study that. I didn't embrace it because, yeah, I'm sorry, I can't put pomade in my hair. It's an afro. I don't know how that's gonna work, but yeah, I understand that culture and lifestyle because I've seen it before, and it's nothing wrong with it. And he has a love for rock and roll, so do I. Um, and like I said, we're martial artists and we're pro wrestlers, though. So yeah. So I guess all that sinked in and stuff like that. And we get along very well. We get along very well.
And a lot of people can tell you get along very well in the ring. And right now, that bond has kind of, what's the word? I guess manifested into an additional partnership with one Sylvester Stallone. You're both, would clientele be the correct term for SSP LLC?
SSPLC. SSPLC. Special, I guess. Um, uh, yeah, this Scalone guy. So far, he done me and Johnny right. Not sure where the hell he came from, but he did.
That was gonna be my next question. How that partnership come about?
Yeah, but yeah, yeah. He's not doing us wrong, or at least not yet. But I can't say nothing bad about it though. We're enjoying his company so far. So
Okay. Hey, well, I'm glad that he's not doing you wrong so far, at least. I have my opinions of the man, but it seems that he's gotten you both very far in SCW so far. He's a big reason why Johnny Go is an SCW Interstate Champion right now, and you, in my opinion, should be the Internet Champion. You beat the current champion, Father Marquise, in a non-title match, but I think it speaks to your trajectory of not only being in that Internet title contention, but last I heard, you were in the heavyweight title contention. You were in the power rankings. You were considered for the tag team tournament, and until you kind of decided you want to focus on the congregation a little bit. So, I guess my next question is, what are your goals in SCW coming up, and are they related to gain gold yourself?
yes, because I do want titles. I do want the championships. In my resume, I already got the 2023 Troy Days Battle Royal win. I'm the champ for that, and going to try to do that again. By the way, but yeah, I wouldn't mind some belts around my waist and stuff like that. Belt wins, but it seems that the belt holders in question, not Johnny, they seem to be very intimidating of me. I guess because of my rise in this promotion and the level of I could be a real threat to them. They're trying their best to make sure that I do not win either hook or crook. Because big rookie decided to relinquish the world belt because I was his opponent. And rings his belt, and now you got this little tournament going in for the crowning of this champion. And I'm like, wow, okay, you're ducking out on me, all right. And like you mentioned about Father Marquise. And by the way, anybody wants to go find his his church, I rather you stay away from it. They're very shisty individuals. Yes, they are. But and like I said, I did that match with him, which is a non-title, but I won it. So that means I should be number one contendership on it. And next thing you know, they bring in Coleman to try to take me out. So he won't ever have to face me. Wow. Yeah, it seems like these guys they know I'm a threat, and they know that there's a possibility they will lose that title to me. So basically, I could say, well, go ahead, get scared, go to church. Well, Father Marquise, you already got your own, so you're probably already there. But anyhow, let them be scared. Let them be scared. But as far as that, it's going to be an issue me trying to go for these belts with them holding it, and it's going to be Father's holding it. Big rookie relinquished it. It's going to be a big issue problem for me to get them, so I had to focus one thing at a time. maybe like say I'll try to cut down the congregation boys one by one, just to make sure they don't get in my way, and then go after the farmer keys for the belt where there's no one to help them.
Now, when you say cut them down, do you mean literally? Because we all know about your knife collection. So
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't know if you want to incriminate yourself on the podcast, but I gotta ask these questions.
Okay. Not literally, but yeah, safe to say I got something for their black asses. But and their blades. But no. I do when I mean cut them down. I use that term cut them down because I do favor the samurai culture, the Japanese warriors culture, the samurais. So when they have problems with a certain someone or something like that, they bat it out with swords, they cut them down. So that's I always use that term. But yeah,
How do you? This is a big aside, but like, how do you build your collection? Because I've seen you have switchblades, basic knives, but also katanas, nunchucks. Where you get those things from?
most of the folded spring scented knives, gas stations.
Oh,
uh, yeah, because I'm like I said, I have a collection of them. 'Cause, that's one of my hobbies now, collecting knives or bladed weapons, basically. So sometimes if I'm on the road or something like that, and I'm at a gas station somewhere, I'll look at the knives and shit like that, with some holds interest and stuff like that. Also, as far as the more switchblade ones or bigger ones, any type of Asian, and this goes for the katana stores and stuff like that. Any type of Asian stores that deals with the weapons in there because they got them in there. There was a Far East Traders I used to like to go to that was at the Oakland Mall. Unfortunately, can't seem to I can't seem to find a registration that they're still there because nowadays you ain't getting mall. You ain't, these malls are closing and shit, and I don't know why. I like going to malls. But that and the bigger knives, I managed to pull out some from a discount store that's in my area. But I always did wanted to see if I can go down to a military supply store and get some because I think they may have some real deal ones, some of these honey knives and combat knives. But yeah, that's usually where do your research and stuff like that. And I my katana. My first katana. I didn't bring it. But my first katana I did mail ordered it in, and that was like decades ago. So that's the oldest bladed weapon I have. My samurai katana and stuff like that. Because like I said, I do have a love for the Japanese samurai culture and stuff like
okay, okay. I was surprised when you said gas stations because I was expecting some like big like exported from out the country sort of thing, but like oh just local gas stations, Asian merts. We'll keep that in mind. I'm sure anybody looking to build their own knife collection is also on
well,
the
yeah,
scope.
but it also depends too, because like the gas stations, it's like folding knives, but they're pretty much more of like folding knives for utilities. Like if you're need to cut your belt off from a crash or stuff like that, and stuff like and because a couple of them I saw in with the auto supply stores. And when I look at some of the gas station ones, some of them resemble that, but some maybe a little more fancy looking, like nice little artwork on them and stuff like that. But yeah, they pretty much like you use if you need to cut a tube or some shit like that and everything. But and everything. But like I said, certain Asian stores or if you could find a army supply store or something like that, you probably get a real deal one. And most now is online. You can just get them online, depending on what they are and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of ways you can find ways to cut some people down.
Yes.
But going back to what we were talking about earlier about cutting the congregation down, not literally, FBI, but just cutting them down proverbially. Let's say that.
Yes.
Proverbially cutting them down. Once you focus on that, then you'll be back to the hunt for gold. And you mentioned some singles titles. You reminded me that for all intents and purposes, you also should be the heavyweight champion because, like you said, Big Rookie vacated that title the night he was scheduled to defend against you. But I also want to know, knowing that this bond that's blossomed between you and Johnny Go, Is there a future where you both could also be tag team champions? Is that something you'd want?
Yes. I feel that's very strongly, and I talked to Johnny about it. He's the same way, same boat. You know, he wants us to get tag team gold too. You know, which if Johnny's ready to go, I'll go along with him too. So
Hey, there's one way to cut down the congregation. It's to take those tag titles. So
Yep.
who knows?
Yep. So that means me and Johnny may have to deal with them too, which yeah, we might as well because that last time we was here, that one time was here and they attacked us and with the belts of all things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yep, that's a priority that me and Johnny are definitely gonna have to deal with, fix.
All right. Well, I wish you luck in your pursuit of gold. And as this podcast is winding down a little bit, I just want to ask you: is there any last minute thoughts, feelings you want to let the fans, let anyone out there know before we go off the air?
Any thoughts or feelings? Well, one, thank you. Thank you for being my fans. Thank you for supporting me. And any shows I come out to, please, mark your calendars down. Come on out and say hi to me. Say hi to me. Howl for me. Okay. You know, I really, really appreciate y'all because y'all the people that make Daniel Wolf, and I thank you very much.
That was Daniel Wolf, and this was the SCW podcast, SCW Breakdown.
This is Superior Championship Wrestling. Breakdown.
Thank you for listening to SCW Breakdown, the official podcast of Superior Championship Wrestling. You can subscribe to us on all podcasting platforms and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X at Superior Championship Wrestling to keep in touch for when the next episode of SCW Breakdown is set to release.